Money. Look at your life in numbers. Your rent or mortgage is 30 to 40% of your income. Groceries and bills take another 30%. Debt payments, loans, credit cards, buy now, pay later, nibble away what's left. At the end of the month, you stare at the banking app and there's almost nothing there. You work more hours than ever, you're almost productive than any generation before, and yet you feel poorer than your parents did at your age. Meanwhile, somewhere else on the planet, a 20-something wakes up, opens his phone, and his net worth has jumped by tens of millions of dollars overnight. In 2025 alone, the world minted around 288 new billionaires, pushing the total to more than 3,000 people with 10-figure fortunes worldwide. Most of them didn't inherit their wealth. They built it. So here is the uncomfortable question. If the system is the same for everyone, why is it that you work, save, and struggle, while others seem to climb to financial freedom at impossible speed? Is it luck? Some secret that only the rich know? Or is it that you have been playing a game that was never designed to make you rich? This is not about getting rich overnight. This is about money in 2026. What it really is, why some people capture so much of it, and how ordinary people can stop being just background characters in someone else's wealthy story. Because once you see the real equation behind money, you can never unsee it. Let's start with the stories you were told. Story number 1. If you study hard, get good grades, and land a stable job, you will be financially secure. That script might have worked in a world where a single salary could buy a house, raise a family, and pay off a degree in a few years. That's not the world you live in. Today, in many rich countries, housing prices and living costs have grown much faster than wages for decades. Millions of people did exactly what they were told: study, degree, job, and still live one emergency away from financial disaster. Story number 2. If you save a fixed percentage of your salary in a safe account, you will be fine. But safe accounts often barely beat inflation. Your money is technically growing, but in the real world, in rent, food, and assets, its purchasing power is silently shrinking. Story number 3. The rich are only rich because they started rich. Yes, some of them did, but here's the part you are not supposed to notice. In 2025, Forbes counted 288 new billionaires. Around 2/3 of the global billionaire class is self-made. People who build companies, platforms, and brands, often from middle-class or modest beginnings. They didn't just get better jobs. They created or own systems that produce money even when they are not working. If the old script worked, most people who follow it will be comfortable and secure. But they aren't. So maybe the problem is not you. Maybe the problem is the script. To understand what the rich are really doing, we have to stop looking at the money as paper or numbers and start looking at it as a kind of power. Money feels complicated: stocks, crypto, interest rates, yield curves, blockchains. But underneath all of that is something brutally simple. Money is society's way of keeping score of who solves valuable problems and who controls the system that keeps solving them. If you are paid by the hour or by the month, you are in the oldest game there is: trading time for money. There are 2 hard limits on that game. First, there are only 24 hours in a day. Second, you only have one body and one brain. No matter how hard you work, your income is capped by time and energy. Now compare that to a different game. Trading solutions for money. You build something that solves a problem, a product, a platform, a piece of software, a building. If that thing can reach one person, it can reach 1,000. If it can reach 1,000, it can reach 1 million. In the first game, your income is limited by your hours. In the second game, your income is limited by your reach. Look at what happened with crypto and digital assets. People like Brian Armstrong co-founded Coinbase, a platform that lets millions of users buy and sell crypto, and saw their net worth shoot into the tens of billions as the company went public and crypto market surged. Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, famously sold his apartment to buy Bitcoin and then built Binance, one of the largest crypto exchanges on earth, with a personal fortune once estimated at over $60 billion. These people didn't just work more hours. They build systems that take a tiny cut of millions of transactions every day, whether they are awake or asleep. This is leverage. And in 2026, leverage doesn't just come from money. It comes from code, media, networks, and attention. But this isn't just a crypto story. Artificial intelligence, for example, has quietly become one of the biggest billionaires' factories on the planet. In 2025, reports showed that AI and related tech minted dozens of new billionaires as companies rushed to buy data, models, and infrastructure. People who understood this new language, data, compute, models, and built systems around it, plug themselves directly into one of the most powerful money flows of our time, which leads to the real question. What is the actual equation that seems to show up again and again behind these fortunes? If you strip away the buzzwords, the industries, and the hype, the pattern behind modern wealth comes down to a simple idea. You could write it like this: wealth in 2026 equals problems value times reach times ownerships divided by time. Let's break that down. Problem value. How big, painful, or desirable is the problem you are solving? Cheaper energy, smarter AI tools, better entertainment, easier investing, safer housing. The bigger the pain, the more people will pay to make it go away. Reach. How many people can your solution touch? One street, one city, or an entire planet through the internet? Ownership. How much of the solution do you actually own? Equity in a company, tokens in a protocol, rights to a catalog, an audience that you can reach without paying a gatekeeper? Time. How long can you stay in the game without blowing yourself up with debt, addiction to risk, or burnout? High problem value, massive reach, strong ownership, enough time. Put those together, and you get the kinds of stories you are about to see. Because in the last few years, people in AI, crypto, real estate, traditional businesses, and even YouTube entertainment have turned this equation into unbelievable fortunes. Let's start with the machines that are quietly learning everything about you. By 2025, Search AI had reportedly crossed $1 billion in revenue with no outside venture capital. Forbes reported that this made Edwin Chan the wealthiest newcomer to the Forbes 400 list, with an estimated net worth around $18 billion. He didn't become rich by chasing trendy coins or timing the market. He became rich by solving an unsexy but incredibly valuable problem at massive scale. and keeping ownership of the solution. Problem value, enormous. The entire AI industry depends on labeled data. Reach, global, serving the biggest AI companies on Earth. Ownership, founder who retained a large stake. Time, he rode the AI wave as it took off. The equation works. He's not alone. Across the AI sector, founders and early investors in model providers, chip makers, and data platforms have exploded into billionaire ranks. The machines are learning, and people who own the picks and shovels, the chips, the data, the platforms are getting rich. Now, let's move to a very different world, prediction markets. A young founder named Shane Copeland dropped out of New York University and started building a platform called Polymarket around 2020. He worked out on tiny spaces, including, according to some reports, a bathroom, writing code and trying to get users. Polymarket lets people bet on real-world events, election, inflation, sports, policy decisions. Each market is a crowdsourced probability, and each trade is a tiny fee for the platform. By 2025, Polymarket had attracted investment from the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange and reached valuations so high that Copeland joined the ranks of the youngest self-made crypto billionaires, landing on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Again, look at the question. Problem value? People desperately want to know the future, and they love to bet on it. Reach? Anyone with an internet connection can participate. Ownership? Shane Copeland, as founder, owns a significant stake. Time? He rode the wave of political tension, economic uncertainty, and crypto adoption. He built a system that converts attention and belief into money and takes a cut of every trade. Now, zoom out. Crypto has produced a new class of billionaires: exchange founders, early Bitcoin investors, DeFi pioneers, and protocol builders, from Brian Armstrong to CZ to the Winklevoss twins and Michael Saylor. You may not like crypto. You may think it's a bubble or a scam or the future of money, but you cannot ignore the pattern. Those who build the picks and shovels, exchanges, custody services, infrastructure, and those who took large, early, concentrated bets on assets that later went global, capture enormous wealth. And then there is attention. In 2012, a teenager named Jimmy Donaldson started uploading videos to YouTube under the name MrBeast. He was not rich, he was not famous, he was just consistent. For years, he experimented. Gaming videos, reaction videos, small challenges. The views were modest. The money was tiny. Then he started to understand something powerful. On the internet, attention can be turned into almost anything: ad revenue, brand deals, product sales, even restaurants and chocolate bars. MrBeast doubled down on outrageous generosity and extreme challenges, counting to 100,000, gifting strangers thousands of dollars. As his audience grew into the tens of millions, brands lined up to sponsor his videos. He reinvested almost everything into making bigger, more cinematic content. By the early 2020s, MrBeast empire included multiple YouTube channels, a successful chocolate brand, and a fast food chain called MrBeast Burger. Estimates of his net worth climb into the hundreds of millions. Again, look at the question. Problem value? People are bored, stressed, and hungry for stories and generosity. Reach? Hundreds of millions of viewers around the world. Ownership? He owns his channels, his brands, his relationship with the audience. Time? He has been creating and learning for more than a decade. He turned attention into assets. He's not alone. Artists and entertainers like Taylor Swift, Rihanna, LeBron James, and others have crossed and approached the billionaire line by turning talent and fame into ownership. Masters and music catalogs, makeup brands, clothing lines, production companies, equity deals with tech and media companies. What started as pure attention turned into lasting business empires. The lesson is the same. Someone else is getting rich of your time. If you own the relationship with the audience and build products around it, you can build real wealth. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. AI, crypto, real estate, YouTubers. They all have a special advantage. Let's zoom in your daily life. Every time you unlock your phone, someone is competing for your attention. Every scroll, every like, every minute you spend on an app is feeding someone's business. YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram, streaming platform, games, all free. All designed to keep you there just a little bit longer. But free is a lie. You are paying with your time. You are paying with your data. The same focus you say you don't have for building your own projects, learning new skills, or understanding how money actually works. The fintech and crypto builders are turning belief and speculation into platforms that print fees. If you do nothing, you are playing the role of user in their stories. You are the one being measured, segmented, and sold to. You are the product. And here is the harsh truth. You cannot win the game of money if you only ever play as a product. At some point, you have to cross a line from pure consumer to builder or owner. It doesn't mean you need to be a billionaire. It doesn't mean you need to start the next AI company or spend all your savings on Bitcoin or become the next MrBeast. It means you need at least one small system in your life that pays you, even when you are not working. One rental property, one portfolio of index funds and productive assets, one small online business, one piece of software or service that sells while you asleep, one machine on your side. So how do you translate all this into your life without falling for scams or losing your mind in risk? Think in 4 steps. Step 1. Audit your position. Write down your real numbers, income sources, fixed expenses, debts, savings, investment accounts, if you have them. Skills, free hours per week. You cannot play the game if you don't know your current score. Step 2. Choose a real problem you can help solve. Forget about getting rich in a month. Ask, what problem, however small, can I help people solve? Maybe it's explaining personal finance in simple language. Maybe it's repairing phones in a city. Maybe it's building a tool for other freelancers. Maybe it's creating content that helps people navigate crypto safely. Start where you are, with the skills you have, with the problems you understand. Step 3. Build one system, not 10. Pick a vehicle, a side business, a service, a digital product, a YouTube or TikTok channel with a clear niche, a real estate strategy you can actually afford. Then ask, how can I set this up so it can scale beyond my hours? Can you automate part of your service? Can you build a product once and sell it many times? Can you partner with someone who complements your skills? Don't chase 10 ideas. Build one system until it works or clearly doesn't. Step 4. Own productive assets for the long term. Use part of your income from your job or from your side system to buy pieces of assets that produce cash flow or grow in value. Broad market index funds, bonds and high-quality dividend stocks, real estate within your risk limits. Potentially, a small, careful allocation to crypto if you truly understand the risks. Shares in your own business. You are not just saving, you are buying time in the future. You are buying your way out of being forced to sell all of your hours just to survive. This is not glamorous, but it is how real wealth is built over years and decades. Because here is the quiet truth. Most of the billionaires you see are simply extreme examples of the same principles that can change an ordinary life. They solve a valuable problem, they scaled the solution, they owned a piece of it, and they stayed in the game for long enough for compounding to work. You may never join the Forbes 400. You may never be on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. But you can absolutely move from always behind to in control. So here is my final message. Stop asking for money. For most of your life, you've been taught to ask one question. How do I make more money? It sounds logical, but it is the wrong question. When you ask, how do I make more money? You are still centered on yourself, your wants, your needs, your problems. The people and companies we've talked about in this video ask a different question. What painful problem can I help solve? And what part of the solution can I own? So here is my challenge to you. Stop waking up every day asking, how do I make more money? Start asking, what problem can I help solve? Who does it matter to? And what piece of the solution can I own? Or you can decide today to start writing your own. The system will not make that decision for you. Your school will not. Your government will not. Only you can. Not the illusion you were sold, but the question you can finally see. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. These videos take a lot of time to research, write, and edit, so I truly appreciate your support in helping this channel grow. Until next time.